What's up, everybody? Christian James here. Today's video, the Conservative Party of Canada introduces the Stand Your Guard Act. I haven't watched it yet. We're going to watch it together. My assumption is it's a Stand Your Ground Act because of all the home invasions and all the violence we've been recently having. I'm not sure, but let's take a look together.
Introduce the Stand on Guard Act, which is my first private member's bill. And it's an act that is important, particularly in this moment in time, because the reality is our homes are supposed to be the one place where we can rest and know that we are safe. But across Canada, home invasions are rising, and too many Canadians are living in fear inside their homes. And we have all done it. We walk through the house at night, checking the doors and listening for creaks in the halls. But for too many Canadians, this fear becomes real when intruders break into their homes. Yet, when they defend themselves from criminals who terrorize our neighborhoods, Canadians are forced through long and costly trials just to defend themselves. And no one should be dragged through this process for acting in self-defense.
Absolutely. Like I said, it sounds like a Stand Your Ground Act. It sounds like, your house is your home act, where you can literally defend your property from criminals. How crazy is it that it's 2026 and Canada is finally, hopefully, going to pass a bill, not likely the Conservatives are introducing it, but hopefully pass this so you can actually defend yourself in your house without being worried if you're going to be the person going to jail, even though you're not doing anything actually wrong.
This bill makes important changes to Section 34 of the Criminal Code so that the force is presumed to be justified if used against an illegal intruder when the intruder knowingly and unlawfully enters your home. Conservatives first introduced this Stand on Guard principle back in August, asking the government to introduce legislation in the fall. While they did not take us up on our offer, the government still has a chance to keep Canadians safe. And so we call on the Liberals and all members of Parliament to support this bill, because your home should be your home, your safe place, not the place where the law turns against you for protecting the people you love. And I am also accompanied today by Deputy Leader Melissa Lensman, who will also...
Again, why would the Liberal Party be against people defending themselves in their own home? They're Liberal, Conservative, NDP, Green Party, Purple Party, People's Party of Canada, whatever party you want to invent or make up or be part of, that's fine. Why would anybody be against people defending themselves in their own home? If they don't pass this bill, they do not have the best interest of any Canadian, whether you voted for them or not, at heart. And you can try to argue with me. You can't tell me any person should reasonably, lawfully, considerably, using reasonable force, not be allowed to defend their family themselves in their own home. It's insane that we would get in trouble for defending yourself in your home from an intruder. If they do not pass this bill, they don't give a damn about Canadians.
We have no response. That was perfect.
Sandra and I are from a region in the GTA that has seen a massive increase in crime right across the board. And across the country, Canadians are increasingly worried about their safety. We hear about it on an almost daily basis. Violent crime is up 55%, gun crime 130%, and extortion up 330% since the Liberals took office in 2015. And things are worse today than they were certainly yesterday. And at the same time, we've seen cases where victims of home invasions have faced years of legal battles simply for protecting themselves. We brought this forward in the last campaign with the incredible work of Larry Brock, our critic on this, and we want to clarify the law so that when somebody unlawfully breaks into your home and threatens your family, the law is on the side of the innocent. So I look forward to all members of Parliament certainly debating this bill and supporting this bill so that Canadians can protect themselves, and we can finally see crime we can finally see crime reduced in our cities with how we've been pushing the government on many other bills. I'll pass it over to Pierre-Paul en français.
About the new C2 or the new version of the lawful access bill. What concerns did you have about the initial one that you're hoping to see the government address when they present their new legislation?
The original drafting of C2 was so broadly worded that it actually encroached upon privacy rights. So we appreciate law enforcement's need to access certain documentation, certain electronic devices. There's an absolute need of that given the volume of cases that our law enforcement is dealing with. But at the same time, we have to narrowly focus its lawful access regime to also reflect privacy rights. So that was the concerns that we had. Obviously, it resounded well with the government because they decided to split the bill and to focus in, and we haven't seen exactly what it is they're going to propose yet, but we're very mindful and hopeful that it's going to be very narrowly focused, but also respecting privacy rights.
And what about AI chatbots, especially after what happened with Tumblr Ridge? How do you want to see them address that?
That's a good question. Because apparently the shooter was asking questions to the AI chatbot that if you asked to a person, they would call the police. It's a slippery slope because, again, I don't want anybody recording and sending to police what I ask. I don't ask anything crazy, but see, that's the thing. Everybody wants privacy, but what if the privacy is putting everybody else at risk? But what if they're just questions somebody's asking? Like, what if somebody asked an AI chatbot the same questions the Tumblr Ridge person asked simply to find out the response they're getting? Slippery slope, but I completely understand it, but I completely don't. Maybe we should flip a quarter.
It has to be addressed in some fashion. I'm waiting to see how the government addresses it.
I want to ask about this bill or this effort. Is this castle law?
Oh, sorry.
Like, is this castle law? Like, how does this differ than what we see in the States? Because I think a lot of Canadians would look at this proposal and say, did the Conservatives want to bring castle law into Canada?
Yes, we do. Why should you not have castle law to defend your home? Lady, do you not think that, like the lady who asked the question, do you not think you should have ultimate ability to defend your home from an intruder? Are you serious? You're a woman. Women need the most amount of safety enforced by the law more than anybody. Women and children. But you know, if you break in my house...
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
No, I mean, self-defense is already in part of the criminal code in Canada. And what this bill does, it just clarifies the standards for self-defense. So the bill, you will see in the bill, it says that when someone has knowingly and unlawfully entered your home, so they're inside of your home, then the force that you use, that you deem reasonable at that moment in time, in what you need to defend yourselves and your family, is considered reasonable, unless there's evidence that says otherwise.
Like, they break in your house, you have them subdued, and then all of a sudden you start stomping on their head. That's what it means. Reasonable force. Subdue them, get them out, take care of the threat. But you know, some people will take it a little far. That's what they have to set grounds for. And again, everybody's reasonable. Like, well, Christian, they broke in my house. I get it. But if they're doing something, match the force. If they're just an idiot in your house that you've subdued, that's where it ends. If they're a person where you have to, unfortunately, completely remove the threat, like those college kids to that shooter the other day, that's what you got to do. What's ever reasonable to the threat.
Where's the onus on this, basically?
Yes.
Are you explaining to us how it would work?
Well, right now, the onus is on the homeowner, and that's why you see costly legal battles where they have to defend themselves, again, just to prove that they were acting reasonably in self-defense. As a mother, if there's an intruder coming into my house, I don't want to have to think twice to defend my little girls and my little boy.
Makes sense, right?
So
It's not
I
for
want
us, it's for the
to
small
have
ones
the
and the old
certainty
ones.
that
It's for
I
people who
can
can't defend themselves.
act with the reasonableness to protect.
If I'm looking at the 2025 numbers from the Toronto Police itself, it says break and enter is down 11% in 2025 versus 2024.
A break and enter is when no one's home and you're breaking into their home. A home invasion is not a break and enter, genius. It's a different thing.
So I don't understand what then, I understand what you're trying to do, but I don't understand why you justify it by saying there is a raise in violent crime.
Because a home invasion is not a break and enter. A home invasion is when there's people in the home and you invade the home. A break and enter is when people are out of the house for any reason and you break in the home. If you're going to ask the question, understand the difference. For people who aren't from Canada or in Canada, don't understand the difference, look at the screen. That's the difference.
When the Toronto Police says it's been decreasing year over year.
So, I mean, the statistics that we're looking at are longer term because you're looking at trends. So if we look at the statistics from 2015, then we see 55% increase in violent crime, 130% on gun crime, and 330% on extortion. So. Yeah, you're looking at trends, yes. And when I speak to police officers, quite frankly, over the last several years, they tell me that because there is no real deterrent for criminals, they do in fact see the types of crimes becoming more and more violent over time. So
just to be clear, so just with this, well, I have another question after that. Just to be clear in this, if somebody enters a home and they are unarmed and a homeowner fears and they are armed and then shoots and kills the person who's entered their home unarmed, this would protect them?
It should protect them. It's 3 a.m. That lady's by herself. She has a hunting rifle because she's going to go hunting tomorrow for a deer. Someone comes into her room that is 6'5" and weighs 300 pounds. What do you weigh, woman? 5'7", 160, 180. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, let that person do things to you that you don't want done to you and then rob you? What are you going to do? Use your brain.
The question being that if a person enters the home unarmed,
but the homeowner themselves
Okay.
is armed and they say, oh my gosh, someone's in
Okay.
my home, this is scary, I shoot and kill them.
So-
even though the perpetrator who entered their home unlawfully is unarmed, would this protect them and that would be seen as reasonable?
I reject some of the premise of that question because you're presupposing that the homeowner knows that this intruder is unarmed. A lot of these people conceal weapons on them when they enter the home and only produce these weapons, knives, guns, all kinds of violent weapons can be produced if there is opposition to their stated intention. They're entering a home, presumably to steal an item of some value. A homeowner doesn't know that. A homeowner being awoken in the middle of the night has to make a split-second decision. Do I take active steps right now to defend my home, preserve my life, preserve the lives of my family, or do I ask this person, are you armed and is your stated intention only to steal from me? That is an unfair question to put to a homeowner. This particular law will decide that if someone enters the home, they're doing so unlawfully, and that gives the homeowner the right to use reasonable force.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a real answer to a dumb question. He didn't insult her. He didn't belittle her. He made it as clear as possible. Like I said, but expanded so everybody understands. Now, if she has opposition to this, it's because she didn't listen to a word he said, and she's just waiting to respond. Sir, that is a great answer.
And that reasonableness is up front, as opposed to a judge after months, if not years removed, applying a current 8-part test to determine reasonableness.
I want to give anyone who wants to take this, but Liberal House Leader Steve McKinnon is saying there's still Conservative MPs who are unsatisfied, thinking of crossing the floor, and they're welcome. What do you make to him saying that there are Conservative MPs who are unsatisfied, hearing from their constituents that maybe crossing the floor doesn't look so bad?
Well, look, we have a job to do here as an official opposition. We're going to do that on the basis that 8 million Canadians supported us here. 41% of the population voted for us, and we have a job to do for our constituents to make sure that we fight for a more affordable life, more affordable homes, safer streets, and a more resilient Canada where we can stand on our own 2 feet. We're going to continue to do that, and we're going to continue to do that as Conservatives.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a great answer to a dumb question. Okay, some people aren't happy. Now, in my opinion, if you cross the floor, if people vote for you as an NDP conservative party, doesn't matter, and you cross to whoever you want to cross to, which is always the party in charge. I understand they cross up, sometimes the opposite way, but not often. There should be a revote. And again, if you go the opposite way, also, because people voted for the party and you. They didn't just vote for you and they're like, well, I don't care for the party they're in. No. Party and you. Often people think of the party and then the person. Often people just vote for the party and don't give a damn who the person is. Ladies and gentlemen, the Stand Your Ground Act, the Castle Act, the Castle, whatever she called it in America, why should Canadian lives not be as important as American lives? 3 a.m. is 3 a.m. Family is family, and the right to defend yourself is the right to defend yourself. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of the comment section. Let me know if you think you should be able to defend yourself, which seems like an incredibly stupid question. Or you should just get shot in the face because, hey, feelings. I'm out.